Welcome back, it's me, Lou. I'm here for another action figure unboxing and review, and today from Mattel, we are featuring the Masters of the Universe Skeletor. Alright, so this is Skeletor as he appeared in the 1987 live-action film Masters of the Universe. Skeletor was played by actor Frank Langella, and this is not the first time we received this character in action figure form. I think more recently, maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, Super 7 gave us one. But this is Mattel's take. It belongs to the Masterverse line, as you can see. A deluxe boxed figure with multiple accessories. He has his sword, his staff, extra pair of hands, and he also comes with the ever-important Cosmic Key, which can create a portal to anywhere. On the back, some beautiful artwork. And here we have Skeletor, the evil tyrant of Eternia. The nefarious sorcerer finally captured Eternia. He made the mighty sorceress his prisoner. The secrets of Castle Grayskull were his for the taking. But for one nuisance, He-Man. Through his foe evaded capture using the Cosmic Key, Skeletor hunts him down so he may absorb all the power of the cosmos and declare himself the master of the universe. Other figures include the 1987 live-action He-Man, Evelyn from the recent Revelation cartoon on Netflix. We have Frosta, Roboto, and Stratos. Alright, let's get this guy out of his little prison. Alright, so first impressions. When I saw this guy at the store, I was really stoked on him. I don't always keep up to date with Masters of the Universe news online, and I kind of remember seeing, you know, maybe some months ago a photo of this guy, but I didn't really think twice of it. But then when I saw him in the store, I was kind of like pleasantly surprised. I'm actually a fan of the '87 film. I know that, you know, it's kind of mixed. It's kind of met with mixed reception. I know some fans love it a lot, others hate it and despise it. But for me, I always thought it was a fun time. I remember when I saw it for the first time as a child, I thought it was the greatest thing in the world. Even though visually it looked nothing like, you know, the toys or the old '80s cartoon, the live-action film, for me anyways, always kind of had a certain charm to it, which I always really appreciated. And for me, in this day and age, to get like a modern action figure from Mattel, I think is just a blessing. I think it's so cool that the Masterverse line is, you know, exploring the different, you know, universes of Masters of the Universe and giving us, you know, different iterations of the characters, you know, whether it's based off of the Revelation cartoon or if it's a new concept like New Eternia. You know, it's just such a fun thing. Alright, I think that's all the ties. Alright, so let's take a look at the accessories first before we take a look at Skeletor. Here's the Cosmic Key. Looks pretty accurate to what we see in the film. I don't think the paint job is like the greatest. You know, it's very basic. It could definitely do with more detail, like, you know, maybe having a wash applied to it, especially to bring out the highlights and the details in this upper area. But it's nice, you know, it's nice to get a cosmic key. You know, all we need now is Gwildor. His staff is over here. I appreciate the fact that it's kind of somewhat resembles the OG staff with the ram skull at the top and the curved horns. It's a nice, dirty, metallic finish. And the handle of the staff, it's nice also. It's kind of thick. Somewhat stiffer plastic. It's not super flexible, which is good. The sword looks awesome. I dig this a lot. I love the hilt. The detailing is really crisp and nice. Again, there's kind of like a dirty metal finish. And then the blade, it's all right. It's pretty cool. Yeah, really well done. And then here's the main event. Skeletor himself from the live-action film, as portrayed by actor Frank Langella. Alright, my issue with some of these Masterverse figures is that I've had bad luck in terms of like stuck joints and just trying to get the figures to like pose and articulate. This guy seems like he's a little stiff in some areas, at least for my figure. I'm trying to see if I can loosen him up a little. But I love the detailing on this. It's really well done. Normally, I'm not a big fan of cloth capes either, but I think there's a great contrast between the material they're using here versus, you know, the plastic areas of like the skirt and the sash. It looks really cool. The detailing is mind-blowing for me. I think this is like one of the more detailed figures we've gotten in the Masterverse line, period. You know, not only is the sculpting, you know, super detailed, but the amount of paint application also is pretty high. The skull looks awesome. It's kind of hard for me to get into focus for some reason, but it looks really nice, really well done. Beautiful color scheme, and again, I'm very impressed with all the really sharp detailing here. You know, all the sculpting is really well done. It's so crisp, it's so sharp, a lot of definition. And just look at that. The amount of detail on this guy is just astounding. It's kind of a shame that the capes is kind of damaged in the packaging because the plastic ties are kind of punched through the cape. So I'm kind of annoyed with that. A nicely sculpted hood. As you can see, this is a separate piece also. This kind of floats around a little. Alright, in terms of Skeletor's articulation, his head rotates and comes off pretty easily. But you can see how this thing works. You know, you can remove the cape easily, as well as this overlapping piece. And then the head just kind of plugs back in. Mine's kind of loose fitted, so it might vary on your figure. His arms rotate. They go outward. There is a bicep cut. As you can see, some of the movement is kind of hindered by the armor plate up there. Double pinned elbows, pinless design, which is beautiful. Articulated wrists. He has a cut mid-torso, it looks like. So you get some motion there. He also has a waist swivel, so that's nice. You have two different points of articulation in his body, which is awesome. So you give him crunch a little, arch back a little. Legs kick up. They kick out, but again, you know, because of this skirt, it's going to kind of like restrict the movement. Double pinned knees, pinless designs, really clean. Articulated boots, articulated ankles. Yeah, very solid figure. For me, visually, I think this guy's like an easy 10. His articulation leaves a little bit to be desired, but it's a beautiful display piece. He stands in at a little over 7 1/4. Okay, since we're on the subject of Skeletor in the 1987 film, I also have this. This is the Masters of the Universe Classics Dark Despot Skeletor. This was produced by Super 7. So for a little bit, Super 7 had the license to produce Masters of the Universe Classics action figures. And this was their take on the live-action Skeletor. As you can see here, this one's called Dark Despot Skeletor. I think I'm saying that right. The Evil Tyrant of Eternia. So this is essentially the same character. You know, it's just made by a different manufacturer. And this is of their own sculpting and design. And the one thing that annoyed me with this one is that the masthead on top kind of covered over their face. So, you know, if you're a mint on card collector, it's kind of hard to like actually view the full figure. This came out back in 2019. So they also made a couple of the other characters from the live action film. They made Rebel Leader He-Man, Commander Karg, and God Skeletor. And there's an illustration. So it's the same characters, this, you know, another company's take on the figure. You can also see it comes with similar accessories, like there's the staff. But whereas the Mattel one is kind of like a dark, dirty silver or gray, this one's almost kind of like a dirty, dark, metallic gold. This one also comes with the Cosmic Key. But like I mentioned earlier at the start of the video, the Mattel one, it's not as detailed in terms of the color application. Like this one has like a wash applied to it. It definitely looks a lot more detailed. The Super 7 version of Skeletor it's really, really beautiful as well. Here's a comparison. The face is a lot better. The body armor is really nice. There is difference in the colors though. This one's body armor is more black, whereas this one's purple. One thing I noticed that the Mattel has over this one is that on the skirt piece here, the sculpting, it's really super detailed and the paint application is beautiful. But if you look at this area right here on the Mattel figure, there's actually more detailing going on. They actually have like a striped pattern sculpted onto it, which actually looks a lot better when compared to the Super 7. But the nice thing is that, you know, the Mattel one, this thing is readily available at, you know, retail. I got mine at Target. The price is a lot more reasonable also, because I remember this one costed me an arm and a leg. And I bought this thing new too. I didn't pay like a secondary market price for it. It's a beautiful figure though. And for me, it's a little piece of history. You know, the classics line is kind of long gone. And what makes this one even more special is that it's made by Super 7. You know, as opposed to like being made by Mattel. But if you don't have any of the previous versions of the live action Skeletor, I think this one right here by Mattel from the Masterverse line is a must purchase. It's a beautiful figure. The detailing, I think it's one of the most detailed figures in the Masterverse line, period. And even if you weren't a big fan of the live action film, it's just such a wicked looking toy. I mean, this guy has such a presence to it. You know, it's just really, really a beautiful figure. Yeah, I'm so glad to add this to my collection. Alright, so on a scale of 1 to 10, for me, visually this guy is perfect. I mean, granted, he has some differences when compared to the Super 7 one, and I'm not sure which one's more accurate to the film, but this guy looks beautiful. Visually, it's an easy 10. The articulation's somewhat restricted because of all the armor pieces, and I think because of that, you know, for me, I'd rate this guy anywhere between an 8.5 to a 9. And I do think it's a must purchase. You know, if you're a fan of the live action film or not, this is really a beautiful figure. Alright, so with that being said, let's wrap this one up. Once again, my name is Lou. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning viewer subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. I greatly appreciate it. So until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. and I'll see you at the next one. All right, later.